Today, we're going to go into something pretty heavy. Might explain some of the clown world stuff you've been seeing, patsies, weirdos, mugshots where people just look bewildered. Like, what just happened? I'm being accused of what? Now, I'm not saying I know this for sure, but I'm just going to tell you about a crazy, unbelievable conversation that I had with a psychopath. And I'll tell you how the conversation happened. So in another episode, I was explaining how effectively I was in this building right here, which is D1 in Wasco. This is where the worst of the worst of California's criminally insane people go. Like a lot of psychopaths. Like most 90% of people in there are in there for murder, double murder, horrible things, right? And then there's 10% of the people that just get housed in there, that are unlucky, nonviolent criminals, like Daniel 1.0. Daniel 1.0 was one of these guys. It was bad enough just being in the lion's den with these complete psychopaths. I don't want to call them something. Yeah, okay, you guys are pretty crazy. So I'm just going to put it out there. You guys are crazy, dude. You guys are insane. But I respect your gangster, dude. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, yeah, you guys are pretty crazy. So, I'm used to being around a psychopath. It was actually, Daniel 1.0 was pretty used to it. It was like, but just when I got there, they all started getting high on meth. So, effectively, a lion's den where the lions are, some of them possessed by the devil, and some of them are psychopaths. Most of them already have the taste of blood in their mouth, and then they start snorting meth. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. You just see all the demons come out of these people. So a lot of these people have mental issues. And when you feed them meth, it's like, whoa. It's reception. So you only have like 1 or 2 hours out of the cell a day max. You go into the day room. So at least you're just in a cell most of the time. But it doesn't take long for some crazy shit to happen when you're in this type of environment. I seen all the demons come out of him, dude. And it's just like, whoa. I was like, oh my, what am I going to do? So what do I do? What is Daniel 1.0? How does he react to that situation? Well, since the way that his safety mechanism of staying safe in this type of environment is psychoanalyzing all these psychopaths and criminally insane people and then trying to find a balance. So, of course, I seeked out the one that looked the most psychotic. The one that had the empty eyes, the ones that looked like he was possessed of the devil. And I walked up to him and I asked him, you want to be my pinochle partner? I thought it was the best thing. Because, as long as you're sitting right across from the devil, at least you're not walking the same way. That was my logic. We won a lot, too. Of course, playing cards with your partner is like someone who's possessed by the devil. You would win a lot. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty good. As he started getting more high on meth and, I started just letting him open up to me. Why not? So, as time went on, he became cool with me. And that's exactly what I wanted, because he, was in there for double murder, and he looked unpredictable, and I was trying to befriend him. So he didn't do too much meth and just happened to hurt me, snap my neck or some crazy shit. So I got close with this dude. In an incarcerated environment like this, most of people's stories are bullshit. Just put it out there. But Daniel 1.0, over years of doing this, I can filter through the bullshit. I can tell when someone's bullshitting and when someone's not. I could tell because he didn't want to say this in front of everybody. He didn't want this to be like a known thing. It was like a conversation in the corner when he's really high. He's like, hey, check this out. I'm like, what's up, G? And so he starts telling me about his experience on the streets. I mean, he'll never see the streets again. Just put that out there. But he was telling me about a drug. He had a Colombian girlfriend or something like this. And he was telling me about a drug that his Colombian girlfriend had brought from Colombia. Not cocaine, something else. I think Vice did a special on it. And he's talking about how you can blow it in somebody's face. Then he goes on saying about, this is how I know he wasn't lying, because he was talking about the trial and error of it. He was talking about how some people say you could just blow it in somebody's face, tell them to cut their own guts out in the middle of the street, and they'll do it. He said that's all bullshit. That's not real. What is real is that if somebody's already predisposed to doing something, you can just blow the right amount of this in their face, if somebody's already walking into the bank to withdraw money and you happen to blow the right amount in their face, you could tell them, you owe me $40,000. And they'll just be like, power of suggestion. They're just in this dream state. And they'll go get you the 40 grand, supposedly. Something like this. I'm not saying that would work every time. The Vice documentary does a good job of explaining this. I mean, I think half the emergency room visits in Bogota are from people that have suffered from this, and half of them got raped and the other half of them got robbed. This was a crazy conversation because I'm I don't want to harm nobody. I never have. I've done a lot of criminal things, but I'm a completely nonviolent person. It's just my nature. It's not that I'm scared, or it's just I've just never been somebody who wants to commit violent acts or wants to hurt other people. I mean, I know that my actions through crimes have hurt other people, but not physically. You know what I mean? That was a creepy conversation because I was like, knew this guy was dead serious. And he was talking about how you have to have certain people and the trial and error of it. And when I walked away from the conversation, this was in 2018, I believe. And instantly when I walked away from the conversation, one revelation came right across my mind immediately. Oh, that's how they killed Nipsey. Tried to tell all the blacks to keep their masters to their tapes. Somebody wasn't having it. They found that guy walking around mentally ill in South Central, blew some of that shit in his face, and said, Nipsey's right over there, dog. He called you a bitch. Here's your gun. I'm not saying that happened. This is my weird imagination. I might be insane. But this is what I thought in my head. I'm like, oh, he's trying to stand up for all black people, trying to empower them, and yeah, didn't work out. You could do this to anybody in the modern world. So I thought, how long has certain powerful entities knew about this substance? I would imagine since the 60s, I don't know, the 50s, definitely before JFK, because you got to have people be in the right spot at the right time to get blamed for things. Well, I imagine they would take the original substance, they would throw it to the bottom of the chemistry set and do a lot of tweaking and make it even better. And then do a lot of trial and error so they knew exactly what they could do with it. Then they would use trained AI models to find their perfect mark. Because all roads lead to Rome, they have access to all the data. So they're able to farm this data and find people that are specifically, they can tell from their text messages, their interactions with other people, where they are, websites they visit. The model can tell them, this is your guy. All we gotta do is blow it a little bit in his face and tell him to go get up on top of a roof at a certain event and look super suspicious running off of it, and then have a weirdo mugshot where they're just bewildered, like, what just happened? Oh, that's another part of it. They don't remember anything. This is all in the Vice documentary. And that's exactly what the guy told me in D1, in Wasco. Told me they don't remember shit. You rob somebody and they'll just wake up bewildered, like, what just happened? If you don't think this is real, then go look at the Vice documentary. I could tell this guy wasn't bullshitting. Like, I walked away from the conversation like, what? Like, that is scary knowing that there's people like this guy walking around that have access to this stuff. What? That's the modern world we live in. Now, I could share some of these crazy stories with you, what he said, and you can take this with a grain of salt, America. You could just call me completely insane. It was a creepy conversation, I'm just telling you. It was super creepy. I walked away from it like, what did I just listen to? And he was in the corner, like, telling me silently. He wasn't, like, boasting about it to try to lie to everybody. He was like, hey, check this out, G. Like, because he was my pinochle partner and I was cool with him, My personal opinion is that they've had this shit since the 50s or 60s, and they've tweaked it inside of a chemistry set and made it even powerful and done all kinds of very detailed trial and error. And now they have AI models to find somebody within 100 feet of you and just blow it in their face and tell them, go shoot that guy. That's why I don't want anybody, if anything ever happens to me, I don't want anybody to make a video about the conspiracy of who did it. It was obviously Sodomon. Come on. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who shot me. And the last thing I would ever want is that, especially if I'm in Mexico, and some random, they say the cartel killed him, or the random Sicario from TJ killed, whatever. It's all bullshit. Don't believe it. I don't believe that shit for a second. You gotta search through this content and figure out what is it that was so true, that it was so dangerous that he had to get taken out. So that's all I gotta say about that. That's a conversation I had. It's completely my word. say that I'm completely insane or bullshit. That's fine. God told me to come on here and just let it all hang out and tell you, and you can take it for whatever you want. I'm just telling you what I seen, what I heard. Kind of creepy. And it kind of plays into how you would get people to do things and be at the right place at the right time. And that in conjunction with certain models that have access to a bunch of communication data, yeah, it's a dangerous mix. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I love you, America. And as always, we appreciate the most thing that we ask for here on this channel. The Book of Daniel is a prayer for the safety of me, the safety of my family, and the people still suffering in the streets from all these trauma that we need to heal. And if you want to like and subscribe and share, you can. You're always welcome to. But I believe prayer is the most powerful thing, personally. But until next time, it's Daniel 2.0, and I love every single one of you. As long as you ain't praying to the devil, of course.